You look at this one, what stands out the most?
I think the first quarter, when you come out and to be expected, right? They're coming off a tough loss, so we expected them to come out, with a little bit of extra edge. You trade for two new guys, put them in the starting lineup, so you expect those two guys to have a little bit of a bump also, and want to play well in their first night out. And I think they got off to a great start. You look at it, we outscored them in every other quarter except for that first quarter. So we put ourselves in a tough hole to overcome, but I thought the guys kept fighting and tried to scrap their way back in it.
What did you see as the biggest difference defensively after that first quarter?
I thought we were physical and took challenges. That first quarter, they got where they wanted to get, and that started creating open threes. I think they were 7 for 10 in the first quarter from three. But it started with their penetration, and they got to the paint. Then they were making those kickouts and knocking down those threes. They only had 4 threes, after that first quarter because I thought we did a better job of slowing them down and defending them one-on-one.
Karis, with a season high off the bench tonight, what type of luxury is it to be able to have him have that type of impact?
We needed it. When you have a guy against a defensive team like the Raptors who can switch so many things, they've got long, rangy guys. They try to do it. They do a good job of keeping you in front of them. So to be able to have a guy who can break their man down, get to the paint, create for himself and others, we're lucky for sure.
And then Sam with 16 points in 17 minutes. And not, obviously 4 threes, but they weren't all threes. Did it feel like he's also adjusting to how other teams then adjust to him?
Yeah, he understands the game of basketball. He's a good basketball player who, if you want to chase him, be physical with him, he has the ability to turn the corner, and he's got great touch in the paint too. Knows how to get the ball up over the top of big guys and those types of things. But he's a well-rounded basketball player who just happens to be an elite shooter.
What was going on at What was going on at the end? Was it a potential traveling?
He traveled, for sure. There's no doubt about it. When you inbound the ball on the sideline after a timeout, you're not allowed to move. And he clearly worked his way up the sideline. That's a violation. The ball should have been ours with a chance to win the game.
More generally with Sam, how has his shooting and also his willingness to let it fly helped you guys kind of withstand some of the injuries on the offensive end?
Again, it's a weapon. And teams, have to defend him and they have to chase him in a certain way. And again, he's a guy who creates a ton of gravity. So even if he's not the one who gets the shot, people are paying attention to him and then he can go. And then, guys on the weak side or strong side with the ball can go and attack and be aggressive with less help.
Hey, J.B., what did you see from the offense in the final 4 minutes of the game?
I thought we got open looks. It just got to knock them down. I think our guys continue to play the right way. They share the game. They're creating for one another. I think we had 3, open looks from behind the three-point line, and they just didn't fall for us tonight.
J.B., there was a time this year where you guys had very few wins when you went into the fourth quarter trailing, and you didn't pull this one off, but you rallied again the same way that you did against Dallas. What are you seeing within the group that is allowing them to believe and make these kinds of comebacks?
They want to do it together. They're committed to one another, and as difficult as it can be and what we're learning is our guys are figuring out how to get stops on demand. When you're playing against these elite offensive teams, it's not always going to be easy, but our guys figure out a different way to come up with a stop, and then that allows us to get out and transition and then, again, go and create something for somebody else. And I think that's what, we've been doing a great job of is continuing to share the game, even late in that fourth quarter, make people chase us, and then trusting each other to just, take what's there.
But what kind of toll does it take on a team to trail for 32 straight minutes?
Yeah, it's difficult. And you look at it, and it was the first quarter, right? We outscored them in every quarter except for the first. And the things that happened, obviously the trade, coming off the loss, there was an expected, punch that came. And it's difficult because now you get to play almost perfect to get a win, and we know that's difficult to do.
Coach, from an opponent's perspective, what do you think of this new Raptors team with Barrett and Quickly here?
I think they're going to just get better and better. When you add 2 dynamic perimeter players like that, who understand how to break down defenses, read defenses, and then assist in the tempo that they already play at. Both of those guys can play, at an elite speed. So I think they're going to continue to get better. I think they did a good job.
With Tristan What kind of opportunity does he have right now with the thinned out front court you guys are dealing with?
I mean, he's earned the right to be on the floor. He plays with such effort and toughness and grit, and just, makes the dirty winning plays. So he's a professional, and he'll be ready to go whenever his number's called, however minutes he needs to play.
JB, Donovan's been so good throughout his career in terms of free throw putbacks. He had the one against Chicago, of course, last year. Did you get any explanation for him getting called for 2?
Yeah, I don't know, Chris. I need to be careful and go look at it first, but it seemed like he learned from the first one and wouldn't do the same thing again. The ball hit the backboard, and then he went. So, and then the rim, and then he went. So, I have to take a look at it. But, again, there was a couple of violations down the stretch that were missed. The inbounder being able to run up the sideline is a violation. Ball should have been ours. So I'll go back and look at those and see what happens.